links. Thank you again for being with us here today, and let's get started. We do have an amazing SEO topic for you today where we get to step back and understand the foundations of SEO. We have Marcus, Chief SEO Consultant of Search Metrics, and our very own Senior SEO Manager, Mateusz Halun. Also, please wait until the end as we have exciting new tools to share with you and a campaign promotion for our travel bloggers out there. Great. I hope you're excited for today's session. And without further ado, here is Marcus to jumpstart our session. See you guys later.
All right, you should be seeing my screen now. Okay. So hello, everybody. My name is Marcus Pensek. I'm a Chief SEO Consultant at Search Metrics. And also my topic today is seems to be a little basic. So I'm giving a SEO foundation. You might find something astonishing later on. So please don't go away. Simply listen and follow the very first slides. No? Here we go. So before we start doing SEO, you probably need to understand what is a search engine actually doing. And here we go to Google themselves and ask them, and we will understand, or we need to understand that SEO starts with what Google wants to do. And Google does have a mission, and we need to dive a little deeper into this mission to follow up on SEO. Then we need to understand how Google actually works. How do they do everything? How do they crawl? How do they index? This we will also cover today, but it's very briefly. And in the end, you need to understand that you need to play by Google's rules. And playing by Google's rules means giving them what they need to actually crawl and index your website. Let's start off. So if you go on this URL, you can write it down now or see it later or ask me in the chat, whatever. There you will find what Google sees as their approach to SEO. And I will just give you a couple of sentences from there. So their mission, or what they want to do, what they approach to search is to deliver the most relevant and reliable information available. They want to maximize the access to information all over the world. And they want to present information in the most useful way. This sometimes actually makes them deliver the information right in the SERP, but usually they will lead the clients to the website. And in the end, they actually do want to help creators succeed online. They want to help you to succeed online with your website. And one step to this is that they are actually telling you how to do SEO. Okay. What does Google do to be able to deliver all the results? First, they need to crawl the web. By crawling the web, I mean they use their own software, the Googlebot. They go to a website like this one. They will find a link on this website, and from there they access another page. This is what the crawling does. It goes to a website, finds links, and follows them to another page. And from there, they will find another link to another page, and from there again, finding new links to further pages. When those links are bound within one page, one website, one domain, we call them internal links. If a link goes from one website to another website, we will call them external links. And if a link goes from another website to your website, again, we call them backlinks. So this is the basic terminology that we are going to use, not only today, but also in everywhere where somebody is talking about SEO. So basically, the backlinks, what enables Google to crawl the web, crawl your website, crawl the whole entire internet, is the backbone of the whole internet. I mean, without links, there is no internet, and Google knows this. And you might hear sometimes somebody talk about don't place too many links and don't link to them because it's stealing your link juice. This is all crap. Google actually wants you to link. They want you to place a link whenever it's useful for the users. So links are good. And links are not only good, they also help Google to understand what a page is about. And this comes to the process of indexing a page. They place a page or an URL into their index, not only with the information of the URL itself, but with information on what's found on this page. So for example, if this page is about things to do on vacation, of course, they will publish or they will index this page for things to do on vacation. But when this page links out to another page, there's also this information, this little piece of information that this page linking to the other page probably also has something to do about vacation. And if you're looking closer to the link itself, it also usually has a link text. So the link text will help Google as well to understand that the linked to page is about what's being said in the link text. So it's about sightseeing and about London. So the link to page, things to do in London in this case, usually has a text, is able to rank for, of course, the words being found on the page and the title, like things to do in London and London Eye because it's written in the text, and Tower Visit because there's the words visit and tower in the text, but also for keywords like vacation, sightseeing in London, vacation in London, sightseeing in London, even if they don't appear on the page because they are already appeared in the link text linking to this page. This helps Google to understand this page is about also vacation in London and sightseeing in London. Keep this in mind because you will need it on and on again. So Google indexed a lot of pages and now they're going to deliver them, like for the keyword things to do in London. But it's not only these 3 pages ranking there, it's hundreds or thousands of pages that are relevant for the terms things to do in London because so many webmasters are writing about it. So Google wants to deliver the most relevant and reliable information available, but how do they do it? I mean, there's only 10 spaces on the first page, so they need to decide on which are the best places, which are the best pages and URLs to rank. So here we come to the ranking factors. The URL that you see here, you can simply Google for Google SEO guide because this is their very own SEO guide. And they will tell you about their own ranking factors by themselves. They will tell you, help Google and users to understand your content. Yeah, they will tell you create a unique and accurate page title. And they not only tell you this, it's true. They're giving real and good advice. So go to this URL and find some more information about how to do SEO in a very basic level. And they will tell you something about using heading tags like H1, H2, H3. The best practice is to implement what you want to write about your topic into these headlines. So please avoid using the headlines of the templates saying next articles here is H2. No. Your headlines need to write about what's being found on the page. Use the headlines to structure your page. And they will tell you to organize your site hierarchy. And they don't mean a single page. They mean the whole site. And they will also say navigation is important for search engines. Of course, because whenever Google crawls a website, they go from the homepage, find every single link, click on these links, and find the relations between the page they were on and the page that is linked to. And this hierarchy, this click hierarchy, is something that helps Google understand your website. And a good hierarchy is something like this. This is actually a screenshot from their own guidelines. And they also tell you to use breadcrumbs and breadcrumb lists. This is something that we call structured data, and it's using schema.org markup. We can talk about this later if you want to. But breadcrumbs are also something that you usually can find on the page. It's right there in the bottom. Yeah, Brandon's baseball cards, articles, top 10 rare baseball cards. And this middle thing, this articles, is one step of the whole website hierarchy. And you can find it as well here in the URL, and you can find it actually in the whole hierarchy tree. And this is the first secret that most website designers are forgetting about. To not only use the hierarchy that you are forcing, that you're providing Google the ability to click from one level to the other level through the whole website on your navigation, but to use it in URLs as well. Yeah, /articles, /en rarest baseball cards, and in the breadcrumb. And when you're using 3 different parts telling the whole same structure of the website, it helps Google to understand what your website is about and where exactly which single page belongs to within the whole hierarchy. And the very most important ranking factor is your very own content and your website. Yeah, when you've got all the basics, the headlines right, the title, and the whole hierarchy of the website, then you really need to focus on the content. These first things, they were just technical, and now you need to focus on the content because this is something that you want to deliver through Google to your visitors. So use your title tag, get the most important keywords in there, get them to the very beginning if possible. Yeah, use your meta description. This is not a ranking factor per se. It's more something that Google will show in the Google search results and will help the users to decide if they want to click. And this is important. You want the click, right? Then go back to your headlines. Here again, use your most important keywords. Write engaging content. I think that's a no-brainer, right? Write linkable and shareable content. Here we come back to the backlinks. Only if you write content that people will like, that people are really proud to share, that they think, wow, I didn't find this anyplace else. Let's place it on my Facebook page. I read a blog about this topic. I need to link to this content. Then this is the thing that really helps you to rank better. You want more backlinks? Don't buy them, earn them. Write linkable content, write shareable content. Use content formats that the users will expect. So if you're writing about places, don't have just plain text there. Show some images. People want to learn more about those places that they are about to visit. Yep. Put images in there, put lists in there, what to do on these places, eventually video. We come to this later. And here's a key. Show the search engine that you really know your topic. How you are going to do this, I'm going to show you just in the next slide, I think. And help the user to find your content within your website. This really refers to the hierarchy again and to the navigation. Get something there that really helps the user to understand how your website is structured. So here we go. Show the search engine that you know your topic. How do you do this? Let's imagine the keyword things to do in London. Yeah, I found this page, planetrare.com, with the headline or with the title 19 top rated tourist attractions in London on Google page 2 in the very bottom. And this is the content. And I think it looks okay. And if you would scroll down a little more, you would find some pictures as well. So it's not only text, but something is there that Google doesn't like yet too much. To understand this a little better, I looked around this topic, things to do in London. And I looked for some more phrases that really explain my topic, like top 10 things to do in London, things to see in London, best things to do in London. If you're taking all these topics together and looking at those top ranking websites on these topics, and you look at them in very detail, you will find out what Google already thinks about these phrases. Because those pages already ranking high are those pages that already won the attention of Google. Yeah, they're doing something right. And I place these topics here in our very own Searchmetrics content experience. So this is just a tool. You can simply go to the Google page and click all by them by yourself. I let the software do it. And what it does is it goes through all those top ranking pages, gathers all the words in there, and tells me, for example, that on those top 150 URLs, on this topic of things to do in London, all 5 keywords placed into one topic, the phrase Big Ben is used by 73% of all these competitors. So the phrase Big Ben is something that I really want to put into my content. Of course, you would have probably thought about Big Ben, but how about Tate Modern, National History Museum, Albert Museum? These are all words and phrases that those top ranking websites already are using. And so these are probably keywords that you want to implement there as well to show Google that you know your topic. Okay, based on these words, the content experience gives you a place where you can edit your content. And I placed the content from this page ranking on Google page 2 in the very bottom. I placed the content in here and looked what they are using of these terms. And I see that they're using Covent Garden, of course, but the software says to only use it twice. They're using it 7 times. Well, this is probably okay if Covent Garden is something very important about the top tourist attractions in London. But is it more important than the Buckingham Palace or more important than the London Eye, than the Big Ben? I mean, Buckingham Palace was used like 6 times, London Eye 5 times, Big Ben 4 times, and the Covent Garden 7 times. So maybe they want to think about what is really the focus on what to do in London. And same about the Trafalgar Square and Westminster Abbey. Of course, they are important, but are they more important than Buckingham Palace and London Eye? And what about the History Museum? They're not mentioning it at all. And all those hop-on buses for the tourists being found everywhere in London, actually in every bigger European city, they're not even mentioned. Maybe they want to implement something like this in there to show Google that they know their topic. Okay, we can see they already wrote about 3,800 words. Recommended was 2,700. This is not too bad. You can write more. This is no problem. But if you're writing more, I would think that you have covered all the important topics like History Museum, hop-on buses, stuff like that. Not even mentioned there. The software also gives you some questions that you can answer, like Doctor Who things to do in London. This is something that astonished me to find there. But this is just some help. You don't need to go with the software. If you want to go use URL, you can look it up, schedule an appointment to give you a demo. But you can also simply go to the Google page, type in your search phrase, click all those URLs and investigate the content. You will find all the hints that you need already there. You don't really need special software. It's just a help. And when you've got all your content right and everything is in place, there's still something happening from time to time that gives you a little push down or a little high. This is the Google updates. Google places updates like this one here in, I think it was January, yes, the January core update. They do this from time to time to make sure that their search results are getting better and better. And they don't want to play with you. They just want to make them better. So don't get screwed, don't get scared when something like this happens. Google's target is not to game with you. They just want the best user experience. And they might have found out some things have changed over time and they will change back sometime. So if you have got everything right, everything fine for your content, for your users, then everything should be fine. Just an example here. Things to do in London. This is the server how it looked in January. And we had the timeout.com in the very first 2 places. In May, it's just 1 place. And visitlondon.com is now having 2 spaces. something astonishing here. We didn't have images before in January. Now we have images. So Google found out people want to see images. So they placed them in here. It looked like this. And in August, just now, Google changed something again. We don't have these double rankings anymore, but they moved the related questions to the top because they found out, well, people want to understand more about specific topics there. So do not follow all the Google updates. Don't try to find out what the others made better or worse. If your content is already right, then that's fine. So we at Searchmetrics look every couple of times at some ranking factors that the best ranking pages make better. And let's focus here on the travel niche. So in the travel niche, we have about 15 images on the top 10 average ranking pages. This is a little less than recipes pages and furniture, but about 15 pictures is quite the thing that you probably want to go. Yeah. This is interesting about the travel niche, the videos. Yeah. If you're talking about destinations, you probably more want to have videos in your pages than if you want, if you're talking about the camping area. So really look around, listen to your users, what they actually need, put it in there. The word count in average is about 1,600 words. For the travel niche, it's more around 1,000. So if you're writing content of about 1,000 words, that's probably fine. But also always look at your direct competitors for your keywords. If they're writing more, you might want to spend a little more research on your content. Yeah, don't talk about too many ads. And you might want to have some lists in your content, stuff like that. I'm just jumping over these now because you can simply download these ranking factors if you want to on this URL. If you're not so fast in writing it down, simply Google Searchmetrics niche ranking factors, and you can download them for free and investigate them. So let's sum up. To become a SEO superhero, you want to know your basics. Never forget them. The basics are the clue that you really need to. Get your site structure right. I think Matthias is going to talk about this later as well. And use your keywords in title, headlines, and content. No brainer, but sometimes you forget it. Focus on the user. This is the very most important thing. And the very last, check if Google gets it. Yeah, thank you very much. If you want to know more about Searchmetrics, go to www.searchmetrics.com or visit our blog. You can find me and connect with me on LinkedIn. And thank you. Erica, you can take over.
Thank you, Markus. Hi, everybody. My name is Mateusz, and in the second part of the presentation, we'll just go through best practices regarding organizing and cleaning your website. Okay, so yeah, we're here. So the first, and I think the most important takeaway is to use entity optimization to organize your site. And entity sounds scary, but it's not, it's just topics. And Google used those entities, topics, to crawl the web, organize the web, and understand your content, right? So for example, when you type Star Wars in Google results, on the right, you will see a panel, right? And in this panel, you will see a link to Wikipedia, a link to images, I don't know, TV series from the Star Wars world, actors, hours. This is Google trying to understand entire topic of Star Wars, right? So you have to organize your hierarchy and help Google understand the topic you want to rank for, and then build content that match that hierarchy. And when you're talking about content creation, you can, write this content from different angles over and over again until you build this hub around a specific topic. So in that example, we see trip to Balkans would be this huge topic, main topic. Then we narrow it down to Montenegro, Kosovo, Bosnia, and then we're trying to tackle the same topic from different angles. So this would be 10 things to know before traveling to Montenegro, things to do in Montenegro, best Airbnbs, etc. Right? And also, I really like this traffic because this address a couple pain points at the same time. So we're addressing here this site structure, right? We structure our site in a better way. Also, this is very good for topic idea generation. A lot of this pain point for many sites and blogs. And also at the end, we should end up with editorial calendar in one. Okay, next slide. So this is just employ a simple internal linking. This is something that already Marcus was talking, and this is just a continuation of the previous slide. And we're talking about building blocks, about topics being by building blocks, internal links. This is the material that keeping those blocks together, right? So we have to link the main pages. We have to group them, for example, by destination or the type of the trip. And type of the trip, I mean solo traveler, backpackers, couples, travelers with kids, etc. And link it in the navigation when it's easily accessible for bots and for the users. And also we have to make sure that this navigation is the same on mobile as it is on the desktop, right? Because I'm not sure about the exact day, but some year ago, Google switched to mobile index and they crawling your site with the mobile agent, right? And then when you have those pages grouped, you have to link them, right? We already talked about linking them in the breadcrumbs. You can do it from the content, building editorial links. You can build additional, sidebar navigation, etc. And also, it's the best way to, to get found, to be understood and indexed by Google is to execute those links, those navigation, those breadcrumbs elements in HTML still. Because Google is getting better and better with crawling JavaScript, but it's still not perfect process. And sometimes those links are getting, missed. Also, by executing properly link building strategy, you can engage the users and you can kill the bounce, right? If somebody is on your website and you are able to engage him and make him click further, that's a win for you. Next slide. Then we have prune the underperforming content. This is just about the removing underperforming content. Because weak content without any organic value, I mean organic value, but not having a content, not having any, for example, organic hits from Google or any conversion is watering your page down. So you're lowering the quality of your entire page. And to identify those pages, you can look up at your Google Analytics, for example, for the last 6 or 12 months for pages that generate less than 100 visits or don't generate any traffic at all or don't generate any conversion at all. And I will try to figure out what to do about them. All right, we can always either remove them or merge them by redirecting this page to a better page or similar page. Also, we can improve this page, right? So if we decide that this page has a potential because, for example, it has some impressions or when you think that, for example, certain keywords you found in Search Console is worth improving, you can improve the article by refreshing it, by adding more pictures or just increasing the length of it. Okay, next slide. And this part is, we will talk about a little bit about Search Console, right? Search Console is your, this is something that Google is giving you for free. So I would utilize it on, on daily basis. So one of the most important things in Search Console is sitemap. So I would always have, in the first place, have a sitemap. I would have a sitemap submitted in Search Console, and also I would, once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month, I would check if there's any errors, right? So I would look if Google is telling me if there's some URLs that are missing or were redirected, and I will try to clean it up, right? Then we have the index coverage. This is your kind of managing center when you get all of the information about the URLs. So the first one, errors, is pretty straightforward. I would just try to remove all of the errors if possible, right? Then I would check the valid URLs too, because those are URLs that Google was able and indexed, and sometimes we have their URLs that shouldn't be there, right? Some thin content, tag pages, URLs with some parameters that don't have any value, and again, watering down your page quality. And then there's an excluded report, as also sometimes because of widget misconfiguration or by some misimplementation, we can exclude URLs that actually has some organic value to us, right? So I would also check that for that. Next slide. Then we have a report regarding your organic performance. This is also very valuable because you can find pages here with, for example, with low click-through rate, and for example, go to Google, check your competitors, or check the AdWords ads to see how people using call to action, what keywords they are using, and then I'll try to re-optimize the URLs, right? You can also find their opportunity and high impression keywords. So for example, you can go there and filter for keywords or URLs with high impressions, but no clicks, right? And then figured out if this is keyword word optimizing for it. So if yes, I will try to re-optimize the article or create a new one, right? And also at the end, I think you can copy this presentation and follow this link there. It's just a very neat Google Data Studio report, and with that you will be able to visualize the data from Search Console in a better way. For example, it will give you most asked questions by your customers, right? So we'll extract those questions from Search Console, and I will show it to you on the chart per position and how many, for example, impression it has. So you can take you can take those keywords and you can again re-optimize your existing content, or based on that you can create new content. The next one. Oh, this is also very nice Search Console report. It's just URL inspections. So every time you have new content, you can put the URL there and let Google know that there's a new content, right? And they can reindex it, and this URL actually can start ranking right away. Then you have URL inspection to reindex updated content. There is very similar. Every time you have updated title or meta descriptions, you can let Google know that there's something new, and they can reindex your content very fast, right? And also you can identify problems with rendering. This is the option when you can actually see how Google sees your page. So every time you have problems with some resources like images or CSS files, you can just render your page there and get the information about the possible problems. And I think that was the last one. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mateusz, and warm welcome to everyone also by myself. I will just do 2 brief presentations of a tool that we had recently launched, as well as a new feature that we just released. I will be starting with the GetYourGuide integration analyzer. We had already shared it at a previous partner forum, but for the majority of you, it will be new. So first of all, what is the integration analyzer? The integration analyzer is a script we developed which tracks tracks the status and measures the performance of all the links and widgets that you create. It's something that that had been requested by many of you, as well as partners who are not in this call today. What we are really trying to solve is, on the one hand, to immediately inform you about like any inactive link. Indeed, we also are able to actually redirect it so that you don't lose any traffic and any booking or selling opportunity until you have updated it to any other link that you prefer. This way you basically can avoid leakage as well as save time. What is really important to call out, because we have done several iterations we have now built it in a way that it's really not at all having any negative impact on your site performance, which is why I really recommend you to install it. Again, it's really, from my point of view, the foundation for optimizing your integrations. Now, turning to the next page, what does it look like, and then what you're able to see. So we are integrating it in the analytics section. So there you will see an area integrations, which is then taking you to the analytics dashboard, where you then see the different integrations that you have, and including what it's connecting to, including the status, the views, the clicks, as well as the click-through rate. All of this, of course, can also be downloaded into CSV file, which is very important for anyone who has a larger number of integrations. This is only the first point or the starting point of what we will be able to share with you based on this analyzer script. So the outlook will be that we will be able to give you benchmarks and other insights that help you to basically manage the performance and improve the monetization. Now, how do you integrate it? If you could please turn to the next page. There's two principal ways. On the one hand, you can copy the code snippet and then add it to the header of every page on your site, or alternatively, you install it through the Google Tag Manager, for which we have also included in this presentation a tutorial. Both are quite simple ways. It's really depending on what you prefer. Moving on, what is the outlook? Is actually not included, so we added that. That's fine. Then let's go to next, the new feature. Thank you. So we, like, every once in a while, luckily not too often because it doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while there's like an outage of an integration or product or service, and so we thought, for the sake of transparency, instead of you having identifying it and having to contact us on partner support, we thought it would be a really good idea to actually be very active in sharing such status. So if you could turn to the next page, what we launched is basically an information which shows you the status of all our primary services that are underlying our products. What we display in this page is that basically whether there's like any issue or whether the service is up and running as expected. It also will indicate any planned maintenance that we do, which you can then also consider while planning for your campaigns. Now, if you could please turn to the next page, what it will look like, or what it does look like already, is it's broken down into partner portal, API, partner service, and widget service. And you then basically have an overview of the last 90 days. You can also get into like further back if needed, but usually that's not really required. And then every single dash, or basically like line or block, whatever you would like to call it, is a day. And if it's green, it means absolutely no issue, 100% uptime. If there is a minor incident, then the green will become a little bit lighter. If there's like a more significant incident, then it's actually displayed as red. And when you hover over it with the mouse, then you can also see what is actually what is the issue. And underneath there's also a table with a report of any issue that that has been identified. Turning to the next page. The service is already live. It's already accessible. If you go to the website that is shown on this page, so getyourguidepartners.statuspage.io, you basically see what I have just shown to you. And more importantly, you can subscribe to updates, which is basically takes away for you the need to look at some website and just automatically be notified with a push message whenever there's any of your services or tools down. So I encourage you to subscribe to the updates, and the update or incident information will then happen through email and SMS. Now, how will this evolve in the future? Well, first of all, we will launch this option to subscribe for it very soon. We will also integrate this into the partner portal so that you don't have different URLs to get to it. We just wanted to make sure it's live as quickly as possible. It would have taken more time to integrate in the partner portal, so that's why we launched it already. But in the very near future, it will also be part of or will be integrated in the partner portal. And then last but not least, we will also be looking at integrating more services that we report the status on. That's pretty much it. So these are the two new feature updates. And now we move on to the travel stories competition, which Mircea will be presenting. Mircea, please take over.
I'll actually take care of it for now, Dennis, just quickly.
Right.
Yes, but this is a very quick heads up for our travel bloggers or travel writers in our webinar today. We will be launching a new campaign for you guys. You will have the chance to win €1,000 travel size package. And when you encourage your readers to do the same, you guys can win together. All you have to do is share your favorite and most incredible travel story in your home country. The one with the best story wins. So we really just want to inspire everybody during this time. We are actually still finalizing the details, but do check out the partner portal on September 1 for more details. The entry dates will be from September 1 to the 28th, so you guys still have time. When you do go to your partner portal account, you will see a notification there starting September, so don't worry. So this is just something to give you something to look forward to. And I know you guys have so many questions about SEO, so actually we'll get right into it. Again, just want to encourage everybody to put in your questions. We have 15 minutes right now, so let's just take advantage of it. Cool. Then we can start with the question from Maria Alba. Hi, I want to know which is the best way to know which keywords to use. So maybe this is something for both Marcos and Mateus. Like Mateus, like what is your recommendation?
That's a very good question. It's also very hard to answer even during the 15 minutes. And also, I don't know what's your domain authority. For example, if you're going for a certain keywords, how fast it start generating traffic, or how fast it start ranking in Google, because based on that, I would decide if I can go for more competitive keywords, or I would stick to less competitive ones, right? So, for example, if we will build article for Get Your Guide, it probably would start rank super fast because of the huge domain authority and a lot of links it generated over the last years. So keeping the answer short, I would go for long tail keywords. So if you thinking about Thailand topic, and if, for example, you have a trip to Thailand keyword, I would try to narrow it down to something more specific, like trip to Thailand in December, or trip to Thailand winter, and try to build up traffic and authority from the lower levels, and then when the website gets stronger, attack the middle keywords or head keywords.
Cool. Thank you. Marcus, do you have any more insights for that? Or?
Well, that's actually a good way to go to very specific niche and understand your topic and see if let's stick to the trips in Thailand. If there's differences between the times when you travel, if you're going in the winter or in summer, and there is a recommendation to visit other places, then it's probably a good way to split the topic here and go to the different times to understand. Another thing that I would probably have a look at is who's ranking already on these keywords. If there's a TripAdvisor in the top, it's probably hard to rank anyways. So try to narrow down your keyword and try to find more blogger-like topics that more bloggers are ranking for.
Cool. Thank you so much. Mateusz, this next question is for you. The next two questions are for you. If we change the URL of an article to include a breadcrumb like the category, won't that damage the entire internal link structure? What about backlinks? Because if the URL changed, then we will lose the backlinks we had to the old URL, right?
Yeah. So most of the time when you're changing the breadcrumb structure, you don't change URL structure. So this is some changes that you can do in the code with developer help, or even if you have a WordPress, maybe you can do it even with the widget. So again, changing the breadcrumbs doesn't change the URL structure most of the time, I think. And when you're doing any changes to the URL for any reason, you have to tell Google about it. So then you're using 301 redirect, right? So this is, for example, that you do it in PHP file. This is a little bit technical, but the message is simple. Every time you're changing the URL, use the 301 redirect. Changing the breadcrumb structure or adding the breadcrumb structure shouldn't change the URL.
Yeah, this really sounds very technical, and it is a technical topic. Usually you do this in the HXS, but most of you are probably using WordPress, and there are plugins for that.
Cool.
Cool. And another from Sarah, should all the articles about a specific topic connect to one article in particular, or should they simply be connected between them?
Yeah, so we're creating the topic. So so the links should be linked between each other, right? So let's talk about the trip to Thailand as a main hub. Trip to Thailand as a main hub should link to spokes, right? We call it hubs and spokes. Should link to all of the blogs about the Thailand. And while somebody's on the Thailand article, those articles should link back to the main one. So I would just link everything with everything.
Yeah, just make it like the user needs it. I mean, if the user's reading through the content and it touches other topics of your Thailand topic, you might want to simply to link over to help the user. If you're on the topic of what to do in winter in Thailand, it might even make sense to link to different topics as well, to link to what to do in winter in UK, for example. Yeah. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Simply listen to your to what you think your user actually needs.
Exactly. It's all about
That's
the
also good
audience.
for Google.
Um,
Yes.
Another from Sarah. What is the link to that URL inspection to a fast index? I guess we can also send it to her, right? It's in your
Yes, we can send it,
presentation.
but this is, I think that this link is accessible. Not sure if this is outside, but in the Search Console. So you should be able, so you should have a Search Console
Login.
verified, and then you can access all of the reports I was talking about.
Okay, we will share the presentation anyway, so all the partners can receive it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Also, there is a my email included, because you can also ask questions directly to me. I think in some instances I can answer them really fast.
Cool. A question from Rob. What content silos would either presenter recommend as essential for classifying pages or posts for a travel guide website focused on a single country?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. I would do first a little bit of keyword research to see what users are looking for. Most of the time, the most logical one for Google and also for the users. If you're talking, for example, about Germany, it could be a Bundesland, right? Like Berlin, Bayern, etc. And then narrow it down to, for example, specific cities, right? And then we're talking about the attractions.
Cool. Marcus, anything to add to that, or?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably again, this is actually good advice to narrow it down by the location. But this is just one way to do it. If you're focusing on describing the country, this is probably a very good way to go. If you're more focusing on what to do in a country, then you might want to go with categories like what to do in winter, where you list all the winter sports areas, which are located in different parts of the country, or where to go to the Christmas market, stuff like that. So you might really want to listen to yourself first, what kind of blog you're actually creating, and start from there.
Okay, cool. A question from Rob. Would you advise having content, oh, this is a follow-up question, sorry, having content silos for the three main stages of travel planning, dreaming, planning, and booking?
Yeah, this is, I really like the idea. Not sure this would be valuable for Google from the just simplistic search intent, traffic generation side, but I think it would be super useful for the users to have those somewhere in navigation. You can just narrow it down. I didn't even thought about it by myself, but when I heard about it, I was like, oh, this is a great idea. I would like somebody to help me by navigating me like that. So yeah, that's like, yes.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. But I would be careful with it. I mean, the more you're coming to the target, to the final target, the more the kind of keywords are changing and going into more transactional terms that you might be able to target with your blog, but often a blog is not the right place to be listed for these kind of keywords. But the process itself, it's really cool, and I would give it a try.
Great idea. Thanks for the idea, Rob. A question from Mosh. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. How important is domain authority for getting more traffic from search engines?
And that's also a good question, because it's like it's SEO community. There's like always a battle about domain authority being a thing or not. But over and over again, we see that when you have more links, better optimized, website structure, articles linked together, you can generate more and more traffic. So whatever you call it, domain authority or website quality, I would always strive to make it easily accessible for search engines and very useful for the users. Because recently user signals are announced as a ranking signal. So yeah, it's important.
Yeah, in 2018, I think we had the first EAT update, the Expertise, Authority, and Trust update in August, I think it was. And since then, we're hearing about this topic over and over again. And you really need to drag these topics apart from between expertise, which you can easily display on your page by researching your articles right and writing into very detail about the authority. Matej just explained, if you're getting more backlinks, you're getting more authority. And the trust thing, this is probably the most difficult one, especially for a blog to gain, because you're not having trust signals like I don't even know what to place on there. Maybe a good trust signal would be to talk about yourself and show the audience who is the guy talking about all these topics. Yeah, is he trustworthy? Yeah, is he displaying his real name or is it fake name? Is he going to all these social social channels as well and getting links from there, getting traffic from there as well? I mean, Google is owning Chrome, they are owning Android. They are able to visit the traffic flow from different platforms, even if there are not links that they are evaluating for authority. From these traffic flows, they can see if your website is getting traffic from different sources. And if it's getting the traffic, it's probably gaining more authority, it's gaining more trust because people are following. And I would always try to work on these three parts of expertise, authority, and trust to get higher. Yeah.
Great. Just a quick reminder for everybody, we will answer one last question, but if you have any other questions, please put it in here and I will ask our experts to answer it offline and I will send it to you via email. So feel free to just send it over if you still have more questions. Our last question is from Aman. Google is taking over all the traffic from the travel websites by their different features like maps and guides. Yes, how should one tackle them?
That's trying to figure it out by ourselves right now.
They're also getting our traffic.
In that case, I would always try to squeeze as much as I can from what I have, from the traffic from Google that I have, and try to optimize for the clicks, right? So I would start from optimizing meta titles and meta descriptions, trying to taking care that those meta descriptions and titles matching actual content, so those people stay, and then try to turn them into returning customers, but providing great user experience. But it seems vague, but this is the way to go, right? Maximize for clicks, for newsletter signups, and then target those people through newsletter. Try to send this traffic to affiliate networks, click on that, whatever is flying your way. And also try to maximize your traffic sources. It's not only Google.
And that's actually the best tip for SEO at all, to maximize the traffic sources. I just said Google can see the traffic flow from different sources to your website. And the less you are dependent on the Google search traffic, the more you are an authority actually on your niche. But I also think that most keywords that Google is stealing the traffic from are going into more transactional direction. I mean, Google is trying to make money, and they're catching all those keywords that directly drive money. And so the more you go into the informational part of keywords, the more you're still likely to get traffic, to gain traffic from Google. Okay, there's this featured snippet in the very top, but the more concrete you get with your information, and even if you're then featured in the snippet, it will say, hey, and you can see more information here, and you will still get the click.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. And again, I'm sorry if we couldn't answer all of your questions. I will reach out to you personally to get answers from our experts, so don't worry. Again, thank you so much, Marcus and Mateusz, and I will see you guys, the rest of our participants, in the next 2 weeks for our partner forum. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.